That's exactly the question to answer this morning. With our NNPP, after all, everyone else seems to be talking. Well, let's listen to what they've got to say. Ladipo Johnson joins us this morning. He's the spokesperson, NNPP, Kwankwaso presidential campaign. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Good morning.
Are you guys active?
Oh, definitely.
So, with our NNPP, that's the question we're asking.
Well,
are you consulting?
On the 1st of November, I think that's Tuesday, is it, next week? We will, Senator Kwankwaso will be unveiling his blueprint to the country in Abuja. And from then on, I think we're more or less kicked off on the campaign. And then the rallies will begin, and other things as well, consultations, town halls, all the things you have in a campaign. The NNPP is on. We're still on. We're working. As you use the word consultation, that keeps going on. The dynamics keep changing. You have issues springing up in different parties. So Nigerian politicians will keep consulting, keep talking to each other. And yes, we believe that we have 4 months to bring our message to the people of the country. And we feel it is sufficient time. We spent a lot of time recently, in the past 2 months or so, energizing the base, as it were.
What is that base?
In the internal membership of the party. Senator Kwankwaso has been around most parts of the country, opening offices, campaign offices, party offices, and it was always a time to consult with the members of the party. Being a party, well, the NNPP is an old party, but we got into it, say, around March this year. Being a party that was being regrouped and populated, naturally, as with other parties, you have nibbling issues here and there. So we've been able to go around to settle things like that.
Right. So it's like new wine, old skin, essentially trying to jazz things up. I know that the unveiling was meant to be tomorrow originally, am I right?
Yes.
But it's now been shifted to November the 1st.
November 1st.
So, I mean, I recall that he was in Lagos some few weeks back.
2 Wednesdays back.
2 Wednesdays
yes.
back. We'll get to that. But you said you've been consulting. And I know that of recent, there's been that talk, that, do I say rumor, you know, that perhaps there are plans to collapse your structure. And you've said that there are issues happening in other parties here and there, and then you're consulting. Those consultations, does it involve in any way possible collapse, merger, whatever word you politicians have come up with yet again?
Definitely not. No, no merger talks. Well, it's too late for mergers, but no talks about collapsing the campaign, his campaign, or the NNPP campaign at any level at the moment with any other party or any other candidate. That is not on the cards, not yet.
But not yet.
What I mean when I say not yet, we are going all the way to February 25th next year.
No possible, well, you said no mergers, no collapsing. Any alliances in the works, just in case?
As I said, we are focused on the elections. If you have the elections, and as people are realizing or postulating, there might be a situation for the first time where you do not have an outright winner, then you all have to talk to each other. So no one takes that off the table. But as it were, for the first game, to use a football term, We are going, Senator Konkozo is contesting, we're going all the way. That I can tell you.
And using the football analogy, so you're preparing for the first 90 minutes. You're also preparing for maybe extra time and maybe the penalties, and that's what you're talking about. Perhaps
that's what a good team will do.
A clear-cut winner.
Yeah.
So maybe then that gives credence to people who are saying, well, we're seeing moves that perhaps the NNPP might be working towards some sort of alliance, collapsing and all
it
of
doesn't.
that.
I can
Eventually.
I can tell you for certain that this rumor started months ago. So it's not out of what they see now. It was out of mischief, and we've treated it several times. And I keep saying that, well, he has no reason to want to step down for any of the
So you're giving your word that
I'm giving my word.
neither
He has
now
no reason.
Nor at the extra
But
time or penalty period.
We'll listen to any of them who feel that they want to team up with us now.
Who wants to team up with you? Not you teaming up with them.
We don't see a reason why we have to at this present time.
Even when
there's no reason.
Many postulants have said, look, we see a 3-horse game, not a 4-horse game.
Yes, because I can easily tell you why that happened. You understand? I always tell my people, a lot of the press are situated down here in the southern part of the country. I don't want to say just Lagos. And I've told a lot of my friends in the press that you can't call the election in Nigeria without knowing what is going on in the core north. You understand? We've made that mistake many, many times. And that's one. Two, in the activities that I said we've been involved in for the past 2-3 months, Senator Konkozo going round, I must admit that for one reason or the other, it was mostly an in-house thing. So except for pictures and videos that appeared via social media from members recording and whatever, we didn't officially invite the press there. So I say that is one of the reasons why there might be views being postulated in that direction. I tell you, I assure you that once things kick off next week and you begin to see the activities, then you will realize the groundswell of support that he has around the country.
Is that also perhaps you're waiting for that time before he's invited by the Northern Elders?
No. Konkozo's support is organic. Let me use that phrase, that word.
And that organic nature does not include him being invited by the Northern Elders as previous
when that incident occurred,
yes,
as I stated at that time, and he did, there was a 4-page press release, and you remember he rejected the invitation even before the event. It occurred because he had good reason to believe that it was like a consortium of different groups that organized the parley. He had good reason to believe that some of the people involved were hardened supporters of one of the presidential candidates. And his finger had been he had had his fingers burnt before in 2019 by some of those individuals. So he immediately said, no, I'm sorry, I will not be attending that. Not as a slight to the people of the North or the other organizers. You get it. It wasn't as a slight to them at all. It was based on the fact that we didn't want a situation whereby something would have happened then when I said, oh, we knew they would have done this. That's why, well, we should have said it earlier. No, it wasn't necessary.
We saw other presidential candidates attending.
The other presidential candidates were not involved in Port Harcourt in 2019 when some of these people came to meet the northern delegates and told them that, oh, we all sat down, the North has a view. Please support this person. And then, you understand. So he had his fingers burnt by them. And the best way for him was just not to attend.
At the expense of getting Nigerians to hear about his plans, his manifesto, because I think essentially that was what the other candidates
Which they
did.
will hear from the 1st of November.
Their manifesto, have some sort of interaction with people. And a lot of people anticipated that, and they got
definitely.
You
see, the thing there is that this election cycle is not like none other that we've had. We have, normally you have your primaries, say, November, December, and just 2 months.
So you think you have time?
We have time. Okay. We have 4 months to interact, to get our message. From the 1st of November, when he does that, get our message out, and then begin to take questions, and he will attend other things as well.
So you talked about the support your candidate has. You talked about the core north. He was in Lagos, as you said, to commission some offices for campaign. And as always, you see the red caps in everywhere. In fact, there was some traffic gridlock as a result of that. A lot of people were frowning and thinking, wait a minute, why is this happening right now? But regarding the support he has, he's talked about the Talakawas, and a lot of people always point to that as his support base, saying that essentially that is his focus. And you wonder just how well he would appeal then to other people in the South, for example, in the Southeast, the Southwest, in other areas where you don't have, the Talakawas who are from the North, because people will say that essentially a lot of people that came out there are northern residents in Lagos. So in terms of getting that support outside of the North, how well is he doing?
Well, he's doing well. I'm here, and many, many other Yorubas and Igbos and what have you. We have our structures around the entire country. You see, there's nothing wrong with being very strong in a particular part of the country or with a particular demographic or segment of people. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you see what else you can do. Some candidates, you hear that, younger women, professional women are supporting them. The Christian base is supporting them. There's nothing wrong with that. And therein lies our own map and trajectory. So we believe that we have a direct path, if certain things happen, to victory. That is politics.
Is it banking on the votes alone from the North?
No, definitely not. How could you? You have a requirement of 25% in 2/3 of the states. You're not banking on just one place. Definitely not.
If certain things happen.
Yeah, ceteris paribus Deo volente.
I really don't understand that.
Yeah, that's
but all
economic.
Things never remain equal, really.
Exactly. So. All things never remain equal. And we keep adjusting and keep looking at the field. That is what it is about. You keep doing that and keep adjusting and make sure that...
what kind of things are you postulating, your strategy on when you say if certain things happen?
Well, the state of insecurity in the country, or state of security, the economy, these are the two major things, I think. A lot of people around the country, not just in the core north, are seeing rising inflation on a daily basis. A lot of the working classes, feel that they're not part of the country, as it were. They're not benefiting from the system. The system is not looking after them. The small-scale, medium-sized businessman feels that this government has abandoned them, or feel that this government has abandoned them. A lot of things are going for the bigger businesses. They have tax breaks, they have what have you, multinationals and what have you. But the highest employers of labor, as I said, the small-scale businesses and what have you, they need help.
Even the big businesses are
everyone
essentially
needs help. But some
costs
have,
and all of that.
Some you would look at certain situations and feel that some maybe, I don't want to start mentioning names.
So essentially, you say your
understand?
candidate has a roadmap. We're yet to see that roadmap.
Yes.
You talked about
see,
security now. He was Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
Right? Some will say he didn't have experience in that area before he became Minister of Defense. The military experience, security experience, and all of that. And the question would be, what would he offer that a general in the military couldn't offer?
Maybe the general in the military didn't have the political will to take decisions that he had to take. It's as simple as that.
So what are those decisions you take?
If you had been president for the past maybe 3, 4, 5 years, I'm sure that maybe you would have gotten rid of the chief of army staff much sooner than this current president did. I'm just using that as an example, because you and I do not have the security reports that they would have.
So maybe don't you think that's why he didn't get rid of them?
No, I don't think so. I think that a lot of things were, even from inception, getting his cabinet in place, his executive council in place, a lot of things were slow and tardy. Truth be told.
So you think that your candidate, once it's time to fire, he will fire?
All you need to do is look at his track record as governor, as an executive governor. He hit the ground running immediately. That is Kwankwaso. He knows what he's doing and he does it.
Pardon me, speaking of that track record, I recall that I think it was in 2004, under his watch as Minister of Defense, that illegal operations in the oil sector, particularly in the Niger Delta region, cost the country whooping $2 billion. And this was something he even talked about then. And this was a time he was meant to have a handle on everything happening. And at that time, $2 billion, 2004, imagine how much that will cost us. So with that kind of track record, talking about track record, what can we expect from him now?
What you can expect is someone who is better experienced, who is willing, who knows, who has a burning passion that he wants to turn around the economic woes of the country, and realizes that without first handling, you do everything together, don't get me wrong, without getting a grip on insecurity in this country, we won't get the investments we require. Even people traveling from one part of the country, not just terrorism, banditry and what have you, you won't get things going.
So what we can only say to ourselves right now is, look, we're waiting for what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, it's exactly what is to be delivered that we'll be looking for. I mean, you already said that November 1 we should be expecting.
Oh yes, and then I'm sure from then on we'll discuss to see whether that blueprint, in theory, can actually get us where we want to get to.
Okay,
that's the usual thing.
Is spokesperson NNPP Kwankwaso presidential campaign. Thank you so much for your perspectives this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, that which has been flashed across your face all day this morning is up next. Stay with us.